Hello, fellow artisans and YouTubers. Welcome back to Lemire Legends. In this episode, if you've been following us along, we are going to do the paint process on a 7-inch bluegill. Our previous episodes, we showed you how to take this from the real fish, skin it, prep it, mount it, everything along the way. So what we're going to do here is we are going to paint this, just a couple very simple brushes here, with acrylic paints. And we have a pencil also, a little water, our paint tray. We're not affiliated with any paint company at this time, so any acrylic paint will work. Just do not cheap out on the paint. Don't use finger paints, anything like that. Make sure the bottle says acrylic paint. And I can't stress that enough in this video. Just use acrylic paint. I mean, I got probably 4 different companies. As long as it's an acrylic paint, the dry time is a little longer. You can use a hair dryer to set some of these paints as you go. Probably for this, I've done so many, you don't have to do that. But if you start painting your fish and you put some coloration here and you put your finger here and you start doing this, yeah, you're probably going to leave a smudge or a fingerprint there. So it does take a little time for acrylic paint to dry. But I do like that because you can blend colors. And it's acrylic. You can always go over the top of it. You can take a little bit of water and you can wash out some of the colors, as you'll see right here. We can blend colors. We can wipe colors off with your finger, your thumb. It's a good learning way to do things and just to have fun with it. So let's get started. Different colorations we're going to have. And there's not a specific color. We just got like a robin blue here. We've got just a titanium white. We've got a white with a pearl in it that's going to go down along the belly. We've got a little bit of a metallic green. We've got a yellow. There's canary yellows, a yellow, a yellow medium. It just depends. I mean, a yellow is a yellow for this. You don't want an orange yellow, but if you do, you can mix, obviously, that orange over there, that pumpkin yellow with this. We've got a little bit of metallic fleck powder that we're going to rub in here across the scales. We'll get to that. We've got a black. We got this burnt sienna that's going to help us with our striping. And like I said, we got this pumpkin orange color and our gold. So let's get started. First thing you want to do, last video we showed you how to use epoxy sculpt. Basically, it's just a 2-part clay that did some fin repair. We're just going to go in here. I'm just going to darken some of that up. We're just going to blend that with the fin. Okay, just so we don't have that clay colored against the darker fins. Just not much to it. Look at that. I mean, that was a bad split right there. Look how that blended just with a lead pencil. And as far as I know, my experience, many years of this, that this lead pencil with acrylic paint has no reaction. It really doesn't affect any of the outcome of the fish. What we're going to do down here on this throat latch that we rebuilt with the same epoxy sculpt, we're just going to go in there, a little bit of water. We're just going to darken that up a little bit. Same thing up here around where we set the eye. Across the top of the head, we're just going to, basically, we're just darkening that up with our lead pencil. A little water in our fingers, we're going to darken that area so it kind of blends with that. That way when we come across with our acrylic paints, everything's going to kind of blend together naturally. Same thing, a little water here. I like using one of these absorbent cloths. I can just wipe my finger off. And I like that when I strike my paints on my brush, I can get off and get the amount I want. So there we go. So that only took a few seconds just to knock down some of that clay color and ready to get started. Now, whether you're going to use an airbrush, acrylic paints, or any other manner, whatever medium, I guess it is, a paint that you want to use on this, you always want to go light to dark. You can always come back in. You can always, with this acrylic, you can always wipe it off. Lacquer paints through an airbrush, once it's there, it's there. Then you're going to have to go over the top, and you're not going to have that natural coloration. So this is a good learning way to do fish. You can see we got some of our bars in here still. from our original fish. So what we're going to do is light to dark, okay? So let's grab some paint. We're going to start with a real, just our basic white. And water it down just a hair. We're going to come in right through here, just like that. And it is acrylic paint, and I said we weren't going to finger paint, but for this part of it, I like to use my finger and my thumb as much as I do with the paintbrush. We're just going to put a little bit of white right in there, just like that. We come back now, it's real thin layer. You can see that. The camera picks that up a little bit. Yep, we got that. Okay, and just for commercial work, I don't put a lot of stock in the backside, but I will put a little bit. You know, I mean, we got two eyes in this, so we are gonna put a little bit of time in the back, not a lot, but same thing. We're just gonna blend that. Okay, next thing, we're gonna come in here. We're going to put a little bit of white in there. Now you want to have this thin. If you put it thick and you come over here with your blue, you end up with a muddy mess. And everybody knows in this bluegill what the next color coming is going to be is sorry,
fly.
Taxidermy shop can have one once in a while. But as I was saying, you don't want to go heavy with the paints with this acrylic. You want to go thin layers, and if you need to, you can always add more. You don't want a lot of muddy mess. That's what you're going to get with your coloration if you add too much. So just a thin coat. And we have low humidity right now, so this is going to dry in just a few seconds. And if any of your paints, if you're familiar with using acrylics from anything else you've ever done, you're going to know that if you need this to speed the process up of drying faster, just use a hair dryer. Not a big deal. But what I like to do, as long as I have white on my paintbrush, I like to go in here. Like I said, we had sealed this mouth cavity off so that our fish fill wasn't popping out of there. We're gonna seal that up at this time with white. It's not a big deal, just like that. Easy peasy. All right, we're gonna a little bit, that's just water. A few strokes of the brush. Okay, and we're done with that. So we got our whites. Well, one white we're going to go with in titanium white a little later. But now we're going to go with our yellow. Okay, and we are just going to give a few broad strokes to all of our fins. And like I said, there's many varieties of bluegills and sunfish. And as an artisan, I just found out, okay, like I said in all my videos, time is money. And this fish will sell. And I can literally do this with an airbrush. Yes, I could do it a lot faster, especially when it comes to sealing the back up and doing the colors, the black on the back of the fins and all that. But
a little tougher for beginners.
Yeah, but this is, I guess, a easy learning curve to get back on track here. Like I said, it's always hard to, I like to focus on what I'm doing, and then you got to teach and talk at the same time, and bear with us. Please subscribe and like our videos. We're learning as we go. I mean, you wouldn't think that this editing and all this stuff, this technology, but we just want to pass this along, and we are just plugging away. And I know you just want to see the finished product and how we do stuff. So, but we're just putting a thin coat of this yellow on all the fins. Okay, a little bit. You don't want to overload it. You don't want to leave any big gobs. Just natural coloration. Okay, so we have every fin done at this time. All right, so, and please use your reference. I mean, that's where I was at before. Just use your reference pictures. If your client, your customer has a different color of fish, by all means, use your reference. But this is just going to give you a basis of how to lay out your paint. All right, what we're going to do here now is we're just laying in some yellow over the top 2/3 of the fish. We're going to blend it down into our white. And that's basically what acrylic painting is. It's just blending of colors. And if you feel you get too much yellow in one spot, add a little water to your paintbrush, to your finger, and just knock it down. Okay, if you got too much there, not a problem. Just knock it down. Okay, I probably did a little bit too much there. Can you believe that fly I just crushed flew away? They make them tough in northern Minnesota. But anyways, we're just blending colors, okay? No big deal. Now this is going to take a minute to dry. We could probably come in here with a hair dryer if you want to dry this completely, but you know, it's a smaller fish. I got big hands. We're just going to cradle this fish, and we're going to come in here just like this. All right, we're going to put a base right on the cheek of this fish. And we got our base coat for the front. Now, like I said, it's not a double-sided mount, but it's got a second eye. And for commercial work, we're just going to come in here, and we're going to just put some more yellow right down through the middle of this back. Just like that, nothing to it. I like to put a little more yellow on the back because we're going to blend this, and you can see at the end, this seam is going to be black. These are going to be black. I mean, not heavy black, but we are going to close it in with black. It's the back of the fish. You're never going to see it. So by the time we get done with this, that show side of this fish is going to be completely dry, and we can continue our process. Okay, so we got our yellows in there. We've got our base coat of white. Next thing we're going to do, as long as I'm holding the fish like this, while this cures out, I'm going to clean my brush off a little bit. Spin my paint palette around. We're going to hit that black. All right, we're going to make a few light strokes right here. Boom. Boom. We're going to let that dry. That's how we're going to finish the back of these fins. Not a heavy black, but just enough black to cover the back of the fins. And then what's that going to do, you might ask, is when you see the show side of this fin now, with this black here, and I'll show you when we get to the tail, because we had a good split there we can fix. You can see how it darkened that. Okay, see on the tail, we had the clay there. Okay, let's flip this over. Put a little bit of black there. See the difference? That darkened it up significantly. Let that dry a little bit. We just want to blend that. You don't want to go heavy black like that and say, okay, that's good enough, right? No, you want that blended out of there. And with acrylic paints, you can blend real easy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cover our plastic. And if you weren't following along on the last episodes, if you were, thank you very much. But if you weren't, to catch you up, this is called Magic Smooth. It's basically a 2-part plastic mixture that cures out in less than 24 hours, where it's paintable. And we are just going to cover up our seams with that. And I had hemmed and hawed about that stitch that was kind of high up here, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to blend it with paint, and we're going to leave it in there. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Basically, like I said before, commercial taxidermy. We'll just blend it out of there. Cover it right up. So what you're going to do is we're just rubbing the extra paint off, a little bit thin down in the cup here. Go over the top of this. We're going to knock down some of that clay and filler that we had. We're just going to knock out some of that coloration right here, just like that. We're going to catch some of these fin rays on the top here with black. Clean some of that up at the same time. Come in here and same thing. If you get a little dark, all right, we're a little darker than the other fins. Water down your brush. from the body outward. We're just going to thin that down. And that's it. Okay, so we got all our fins taken care of. We got our yellow on the back. I'm just going to cover some of this plastic right here. We're going to hit that a little bit. That's going to take a little bit of time to dry because I like to go heavier there and on this side right here. Do that at the same time. And then what we're just going to dust down our clay epoxy there. We're going to hit the bottom of the jaw right here. And we're just going to blend. We got extra paint on the brush. We're not going to come heavy black up here because we're going to put some greens. That green magenta I have across here. We don't want to go heavy. You can always apply more paint. You don't want to put too much on. But like I said, with this acrylic, that's one nice thing. If you put too much on, you can come in with your paintbrush and a little bit of water and you can knock it down. Okay, this is starting to dry back here. Like I said, you can see that we probably have a little bit too much black right there. So we can come in just like this. Okay, we can blend that black down. A little more water and knock that down a little bit. Just like that. Happy with that. This is about dry now. Our yellow that we put on here is pretty well dry. I'm happy with the blending process we have so far. And everybody's different. Everybody's going to have their own reference, their own idea of what they want to do. I just like to put a little black right there. I can come over the top of that with, I built this breast up with some orange, that pumpkin orange. We could tone that a little bit. So when you put these acrylics in this paint tray, depending on the humidity and the temperature, room temperature, you know, things are going to start to dry out on you. So sometimes you may just want to put one color or two on your palette at a time until you're comfortable with what you're doing. But purposes of this video and being that I've done a lot of fish, I laid it all out for you and we can go through that again. So, okay. So you can still see we got a little bit black here. You can see my fingers, just black wasn't completely dry. So we're just going to touch this for a second. I'm not going to use a hair dryer. This video, like I said, you can set this paint real fast with a hair dryer. Acrylic paint. If you're just catching up, this is acrylic paint we're using. And we're just going to let that dry right on top of our water cup here for a second. Just a quick review. This is the blue we're going to use for the gill cover, like a robin's blue. We've got a white, a titanium white. We've got a metallic, like a pearlescent white. We have a metallic magenta green. We've got a yellow. We've got a little bit of, this is a purple, just a pigment or a powder that we use. Black, a burnt umber, an orange, and just a metallic gold. Those are the colors we're using. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 10, basically 9 colors, and we got our pigment there of purple. We'll get to that in just a few seconds here, how to do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come in, we're going to clean this brush off nice. We're going to get rid of this black off of here. And like I said, you could spend all day figuring out which paintbrush you're going to use or whatever, but these scales are kind of rough. And when you start going inside the mouth, a cheap brush is fine. No sense dumping $10, $15 into a good brush. I mean, I literally have hundreds of $1, $2 paintbrushes for painting fish. And as long as they're not all freaking stuck out on the side here and all frayed out, they're going to apply this acrylic paint just fine. You might want to have a fine point one if you want to get into some detail, like up around here where the mandible goes and up underneath, you know, the skill cover area and up underneath this little bone right here. I mean, if you want to highlight some things and you want to get in depth, you might want to use a little finer brush. But for the purposes of this commercial fish, this is all I really need right here. These are my weapons of destruction, so to speak, or of construction. So, okay, so I guess enough talking. Our paint's dried enough. We can continue on this. A lot of times you can come back in here and put a heavier yellow in on the breast and then an orange over the top. You can do an orange or the yellow over the top, and it's all up to the artist, and have fun with it. You know, I mean, if it's and that's why I like doing these commercial fish, that I just sell the fish. I don't a client comes in the shop and brings a picture in, and I could literally spend 3-4 hours trying to recreate his fish. And I've just found out that over the years, you know what, I'd rather paint 4 or 5 of these and have fun with it and just resell them on my own, have a nice little fish fry. It's I don't know, after that many years, stress factor is gone out of it. It's just more relaxing for me just to chill out and do a fish and have some fun. You know, no sense doing that, and that's my preference. You might be different. I'm not going to get into that's going to be future videos that we have down the road of clientele and how to get your clientele and how to make money in the business. Those are business videos for another day, but the point of this video is just to have fun, and that's what we're doing right here. We're just going to take this pumpkin yellow, we're going to blend it, and just whatever you're happy with, you know. Like a famous artist would say, my happy little brush. And unfortunately, we don't have a happy little tree, but and if I only had the hair he did, mine's a lot grayer. Let's get her done. All right. We just put that epoxy over that, his little anus right there. Nothing critical. Just going to do that. Now, what you want to do when you blend this, okay, you don't want a heavy orange right here. Boom, stop, and no more orange. We're trying to blend this, okay? That's what I'm after right there. I'm just trying to blend colors, just like that. All right, and this is going to be, you can see that I'm gonna come over that once this dries a little bit. I'm going to put more orange over the top of that. But we're going to let this first coat cure out. And again, we went around the back side of this fish with that orange. I'm just going to clean off my brush right down there, just like that. Blend it up in here. And once this is on the wall like this, you're never going to see that anyway. So, I mean, you gotta know the line when there's commercial work, professionalism, and there is a line there. And for what I'm doing right here, right now, I think this is about what we need to do. So, never had any complaints about the back of a fish. Like I said, you can use your finger, your thumb, just to blend some paints, add a little bit of water, do whatever you need to do. Put a little orange there. I'm going to clean the rest of my brush off. It's got some water on it. I'm going to put a little orange in the cheek. And I'm just going to do this, okay, in about 6 places. Get some of that watered down orange off my fingers. And that's going to just give you a little bit of a depth to your bluegill. Just like that. All right, I'm happy with that. And then the last thing I want to do, as long as I got that orange here, get a little more of my brush than that. I don't want to overdo it. I just want to put a little orange at the base of this fin. I just think it helps out a little bit. Let that dry. And then we're going to come in here, this orange, real light. I'm just going to sideways strokes. We're not going to go the wide part of the brush. We're going to go sideways. Again, I got to get a little more paint than that. Just like fin rays. And fill some of that in a little bit. And you can take this as far as you want. Every fin is different. You know, this is heavy here, but that's okay. We can knock that down again with some water. It's a little bit too much. Whatever you're happy with. Over that black right here. And it just comes with experience. Whatever you want to do. You watch artisans paint oil canvas, you know, acrylic paints. Everybody makes it look so easy, but it just comes with practice. You know, that's all I can say is just get after it. Don't be afraid. You know, it's like, geez, I ruined that. You know, what do I do now? Well, this is acrylic paint. I mean, what the heck? And that's the purpose of doing this. Instead of, I use a lot of time for my commercial work, I'll use lacquer airbrush paints, but just to show people, like I said, we're trying to get people involved, pass on this tradition of artwork. You know, get after it. You know, that's all I can tell you. Just, I mean, if you're not happy with something, just wipe it down or go over it again. Let the paint cure and go over it again. It's for fun. And after that many years of taxidermy business, I can be honest with you, after that many years, the stress factor got me. It absolutely ate me alive. What people expected and wanted for nothing. And, you know, those days are gone. I'm in this for the fun. So I just have fun with it, just relax and do what you got to do. So there you go. There's some more base colors right there. I think we got good light. We can see that. So basically we got a little bit of white. We got some orange in there. We got some yellows. We touched up the black. There's a base color. You can see it's starting to look like a bluegill. Just with what? 3 colors. We got some yellow, some orange, a little bit of white in there. I'm just going to clean my brushes up here. I guess I only use the one, but hey, we'll wash the other one too. We'll get it a little bit wet, the bristles. That'll help us with our detail stuff on this gill cover. So, all right, we got a little bit of wetness on that brush. Let's do a little bit of blue. This is really where the sun is going to shine on this fish right here. And there's a million different blues and colorations you can put on this gill cover. You could spend hours cutting this paint in here. But you can see as I work my way up, the water, as you hold your brush this way, the water starts to run towards the end of the tip of the brush. And that's exactly what I want. I want my lighter blue up in this area here. I want my darker blue down in here. I'll do the same thing. Come right in here. Daubs of blue. Just like that. And then we're going to cut this right into where the clay went in the cheek. Okay, we're just going to blend all that upward. And I've studied reference, years and years of just looking at reference pictures of live fish that I've caught in the water. Good memories with my daughter, my dad, of catching fish and my friends. And I look at fish and they're looking to eat them. And sometimes I just look at my fish and go, wow, that's really cool. You know, you learn something every day. And it just, you could, like I said, I mean, everybody's got their own perspective of art. I mean, somebody would say, oh, that's too much blue, that's not enough blue. But like I think I had said in my first video or my second one, that I know this blue, this heavy blue in this fish will sell this fish for me. And I've proven it literally thousands of times. This blue in this fish will sell this fish for me. And that's what I'm going to do. That's the blue I'm going to leave in it right now. Right now, let that dry a little bit. So to refresh real quick, we're going lighter, basically the darker colors. We went with a white, a yellow, the black up here, and we're working on the blue. We put the orange on the breast, and we're going to come back now. And before this gob of orange paint and this palette starts to set up, you can see it's starting to set up already. But a little water in there and it breaks it down and it'll come back. But we just want it one more time on this orange. And you can really see the difference between this orange and that orange on the second coat. So, and that's one thing about painting. You never, ever want to just put one heavy coat on and go, that's good. I mean, if you're painting your house or whatever, a wall in your bedroom, it's always better to have 2 light coats than 1 heavy coat. You can always put more on, right? And that's what we want right there. We're blending our colors. Backside, same thing, a little bit there. And you can see the difference that made though. See, we got some orange there. It takes up into the orange here. Just maybe a little more color in this tail. I did have a couple of black lines in here where I went a little heavy. Not a problem. Just go over the top of that with a little bit of orange. Knock it down a little bit. Same thing up on this secondary dorsal up here. We could knock that down a little bit with some color sells. I can't say that enough. On these bluegills, color will sell your fish for you. And there's a lot of platforms and a lot of markets where people are looking for bluegills. You'd be amazed. People like the color. So I'm going to put heavy orange in there. People going, there ain't no way there's a fish like that in my lake. Well, you know what? It's not your lake, and it's my piece of work, and I know what's going to sell. I'm just trying to help you along. So there we go. That's that. What I'm going to do next is, since I have the orange on the brush, I'm just going to stipple this a little bit with some orange. Just like that. I'm going to blend that up into there a little bit. Okay, we just stippled that a little bit. Let that cure out. That's just more coloration. You know, nothing's real flat there. That yellow with my clay and stuff, that just helps blend things and hide things. It only takes a second just to stipple the back too. You know, what the heck. All right, so that's that. So we're almost there. The next step, and hang with us, we only got, 3, 4, I don't know, I'm not putting a time frame on this, but I'm thinking, just 3, 4 more minutes, we're going to have a finished product here. So I know I watched a lot of videos and learned a lot about art, and you go, oh, is this ever going to end? And they edit it and they high speed it and they make it look so simple, but this is live and up close. This is just how easy it is, folks. We're going to use that metallic green right now. We're going to just right above this is called a lateral line on a fish. It looks like somebody put it on there with a sewing machine. That's a lateral line. And we are just going to drag this green right down from the top right to that line. And if you go heavy like that, too much, okay, fine. Put some water in your brush, gone. Right here, kind of heavy, little water, your finger, blend it out. Just have fun with it. That's what we're going to do. Just basically down to the lateral line is what we're doing here with this green. I'm just going to wipe some of this down because I don't want that much water in there. I don't want heavy dry time on this. This is, like I said, live action. We don't want to have to get a hair dryer out or wait for this to dry for 5 minutes. Real thin. Same thing across the top of the head. And we got it. Look at that metallic that's in there. See that nice flash? When you gloss this fish, that's going to enhance that metallic color threefold. So don't go too heavy. You don't want, I don't know, this will date me and age me, but I don't get in trouble with any branding, but when I was a kid, they used to call this the Midas touch. When something was golden, they give it the Midas touch. But you can tell I'm an 80s kid.
How old are you?
So there we go. Somebody just whispered, my camera person, how old are you? I'm not as old as dirt. So there we go. So we're just waiting for that paint to dry a little bit, working around. I'm very happy with that. We kept that green pretty much above the lateral line. We blended down, and I'm very, very pleased with the way this is coming out for live action, but I've done a lot, and I can see this one's going to come out exceptional. So anyways, clean my brush off, give a few seconds for this paint to dry, and what we're going to do next is I'm going to turn this around, and you're going, okay, looks like it's time for some darks across the top, and where's the bars, right? Well, that's our next step right here. I use this gold more for reference than anything. Excuse me. Okay. We're just going to put some light lines right in here. 1, 2. No, a common mistake, and I've been critiqued for this before from people, and I got upset at them after a while. I'm like, you know what? There's internet trolls all over the place, and I'm not going to argue with them. They think I could do things better, I should do things worse. But what I was going to say here is they've said in my bluegills. I've never seen bluegills with so many lines. So I don't know if it was a troll lesson or it was just an artistic lesson, but I've cut back on the number of lines that I put on my fish. So basically this is going to be my guide right there. Okay, I got a gold, a gold, a gold, a gold, a gold, and a gold, obviously. And straight up and down, okay? Okay, from fin to fin, boom, there, straight up and down, boom. Okay, don't start going like this, and because your fish, you're holding it this way. You want to get them north and south the best you can, okay? Not a big deal if they're off a little bit, but it gives you the gist. Okay, this is where when we mix up our burnt sienna with our black, this is going to give us a vague outline of where we're going to apply that paint. We want to put some nice bars on this fish, and we are not going to do this with a stencil. We're just going to freelance this. We're going to put it on there just with this brush right here. So I'll let that dry for just a couple seconds. I'm going to start mixing up some of this black right here. Doesn't take much. This black will overpower this burnt sienna. So we're just going to mix that together a little bit. Okay. Too dark. All right, we got to get some more of this brown in there. There we go. You can see the brown come through compared to that black. That's exactly what we want. So let's get started here. Let's take some of this on the brush. Okay, I'm going to put one right here just to break up the transition from the tail to the body. Just like that. We're going to come straight down. Straight down. And we're just going to follow on both sides of that gold. Just like that. And you see what that does for us. It helps us keep them lines straight up and down. Just like that. Gives us a good reference point. Stay on both sides of that gold. And this is, to this day, this is fun, but this is, for a bluegill, I think this is still one of the trickiest things where you can actually make or break your fish. Okay, we're going to reload here one more time. We're going to keep in transition with that same little area so we get the same coloration on the brush. We're just going to work that just like that. Just like that. Okay, we got one more we're going to put right here. Just a little one. Blending of colors. Okay, and then we're going to take the extra paint we have on our brush. We're going to go right in between that, right over those gold stripings that we had before. Just like that. Then you pull it back a little bit and you can look at your fish and go, well, okay, this one comes like this. Not a big deal. We're going to put some black right up there. Okay, we're going to blend that bar. That one's spot on, that one's spot on, that one's spot on. This one, we could put a little bit there. I'm very happy with that. You can see this bright yellow spot right here. I'm just going to blend that down just a hair. Just like that. Gone. It just blends naturally with the orange of the belly. Make sure you get in behind this fin. Some kind of a coloration, something. And I'm just going to put a little bit of yellow back there. Okay, so it's just not so loud, just like that. I like it. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to clean all those gumbies off my brush. It's starting to dry on me. And take a little bit of black. Let's see what we got so far. Yep, we're going to take a little bit of black. Again, your bars can come in all shapes and sizes. Just have fun with it, whatever you can do. And this is the way it comes out. It comes out for this video. I'm happy with it. Okay, right here. Right up in here where I didn't like them bars are kind of crooked. We're just going to put this black right across the top of that. And that's why I like putting that purpose of that green in here. You can blend that black right down real light. Not heavy. Don't go heavy with the black. You can bring that right into your green. just like that. Okay, I'm going to take my black, hit that one more time, blacken that up a little bit. I'm going to blend around this eye. Now, one of the things in taxidermy you got to be careful of is you don't want to give this fish a black eye. Okay, you don't want to go in like this. Okay, and go, well, that's good enough. You know, it's no. You can see it's way too black underneath there. You don't want to do that. That's unprofessional. You want to blend that eye down. You want to get rid of that. Don't give them a black eye. So take your water in there and get rid of some of that. Now you go, okay, well, geez, I got too much black on there. Now what? But this is not a shop secret. I can't say that, but it's this little trick of the trade. Okay, you got too much black there. Okay, what do you do with that? Well, guess what? You got this gold right here. You take that gold, boom, right around that eye, just like that. Look at that. Gone. Just like that. Just blend it down with some gold. And you bring gold across the top of your fish here anyway. Just like that. All right. I think we can get some good color on that fish. Yep. So we're just about there. So I look at my color palette and I go, okay, I use those for my stripes. I'm happy with my orange. I got my gold in there for these lines, just the way I wanted. And my gold in here is a little bit heavy, but I can live with that. I'm not going to blacken up my stripes anymore. I really like the way this is going to go. When you put your high gloss on this, it's going to transfer. I mean, your fish is, you're just going to go, maybe more color, more metallic or whatever. You put your gloss on this and your fish is going to pop. But anyway, I got my blues in there. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I mean, I could go a little brighter with the blue, but I'm going to leave it that way. Okay, what's left? Okay, my paint. Oh, I got to do this. Okay, just roll it around. You go, oh, guess what? I haven't put my metallic white in yet. Right here. And it's, like I said, it's starting to set up. It's been a few minutes now. So you just want to thin that down. You want to put it right in there. Okay, I put it from the base of the tail, maybe a little into the tail here. Oh, too much, right? Just blend that out. That's going to go right over your black, that metallic. Beautiful. Okay, down into here. I don't take it too far up into my orange, but I will hit the side of this caudal fin right here with that coloration. A little bit on these pec fins, very light. You can see what that did to those fins. It just transformed them shiny. All right, and then what you want to do is over the top of that blue, I'll put a little bit of that in there, and this metallic white. I mean, different companies sell it. It's a bass white, metallic white. I mean, but it really will make
Iridescent white.
Iridescent white. It'll make your color really pop. That might be a little bit too much. I'm going to take a little bit of that down. You can see with that flash, that's a little bit much because when you put your gloss on there, it's going to really, you don't overpower it. That's better. Okay, so we went around our paint palette here. I think I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing we have left now is this purple. What I'm going to do with that, just a powder, put it on my finger, and I'm just going to rub it and daub it on my fish. Okay, not too much, just a little bit. You don't want to freaking destroy your fish mount by putting too much like I just did right there. Whoops. But I just want to get the idea of getting some on here before we're done. Okay, a little bit there, a little bit on the cheek, and a little bit to the side. Now you look at that and you go, holy man, that's way too much purple, right? Okay, not a problem. It's a metallic powder. A little water in your finger, a few light strokes. Don't take your burnt sienna on your black off, but you can get rid of that. When that dries, See the difference? It's gone, but it blended underneath the scales. Same thing up here. It's not a happy little tree, but some happy little scales. They got the color they needed. And there it is. Okay, that shine will go away when that dries. And that's going to be a finished bluegill. Now, you can see like right here where that metallic is. If you want to go in there and you want to touch that up a little bit, because it's too gold, you could put a little more black in there and you could work these stripes forever. But I just don't like hard stripes. I like them broken up like this, and it's going to work for me. And for commercial work, you got to know, just like any piece of art, you got to know when to sign it. And I think for this video, we're going to sign it. Next video, we're going to show you how to put the high gloss finish on this. We had talked before about leaving a little hole here in the plastic so we can put our hanger on here. We're going to show you the do's and don'ts for that so you don't ruin your whole project or run a screw through your finger. That's not so much fun, taken from a guy that's had a little experience with that. So we're going to run through that in the last video of this series, and I hope you enjoyed, folks. Please subscribe and like, and we'll see you on the next one.